Two social workers on a mission to change the narrative, Millennial Babes Podcast seeks to empower others in making changes to maintain their physical, emotional, and mental health. This podcast is about becoming the best version of ourselves. I hope you feel inspired. Join Bria Spencer and Fadia Jean-Pierre bi-weekly as they initiate conversations about mental health, fitness, and travel. Share this with someone who needs it. Follow us on Instagram at millennial_babes_podcast, and let's continue the conversation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. And thank you for joining us, Millennial Babes Podcast. Today is going to be an amazing episode. So in this episode, we are joined with Team Spartan Spades, who are beyond just a story or a group of people working out. Team Spartan Spades takes you on a journey of self-discovery, promoting health lifestyles, and bringing the community together, and discipline and having consistency. Most of all, it's about community coming together, becoming family while empowering and uplifting each other to focus on their personal health journey. Team Spartan Spades began to impact the community and introduce everyone to different ways to start and maintain their physical health. Join us and Team Spartan Spades as we chat about how a community becomes family, focusing on our journey while competing with each other by putting on a pair of sneakers and hitting the park. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for being on our platform today. And I can't wait for the conversation we're going to have, and then for our guests to hear more about what you do and what, and the races that are coming up. So let's begin your personal fitness journey with our special guest, Team Spartan Spades, who uses their platform to empower each other and the community. So I'm going to ask each one of you guys to introduce yourself and share what made you join the team.
All right, you're going to start with me, I guess.
Gotta start.
I'm Mike. Well, it'll start with me because it started with me. I'm Mike, the founder of Team Spartan Spades. I had been in fitness. I've been athletic all my life as a child, ripped and ran and played basketball, tag, other community events. As I got older and my health started to change, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, which impacts your cholesterol, your hair, and so many other factors, weight fluctuations, intolerance to cold and hot temperatures. And it was a way for me to push myself beyond, just the regular gym work and stuff like that. And at one point, it led to me discovering obstacle course racing. In 2012, after discovering the Spartan race, I trained for about 2 months to get ready. And the first race was so challenging that I said, this is a way for me to help impact my community. And it's led to me saying the next time they have this race the following year, I'm going to bring people with me. From there, that led to about 3 other people joining me, and thus Spartan Spades was formed.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Go ahead, Captain.
I thought the queen was going to go next, but I'll go. So I am Drea. I am one of the co-captains now of Team Spartan Spades. Mike and I have been friends for 10, 15, how long, Nicole?
Like 13.
Seemed like your whole life.
Right. It's been a long basically all of our children's lives, both his daughter and my son are the same age. And so Mike introduced me to obstacle course racing back in probably 2013. And I definitely wasn't with it then. I wasn't working out. I was not an exercise junkie. I wasn't a fitness enthusiast. I wasn't any of those things. I was like, oh, you want to go walk in the park? I mean, okay, I guess. Sure. Yeah, right. Kill some time on a Sunday. But that quickly changed. We did a couple of fun runs. We did the color run, which is the one where they throw all the colored balls and stuff at you with the cornstarch, which is really cool. And I was like, okay, maybe I can actually do this. And so I did my first Spartan sprint back in 2018. I actually managed to survive it. So aside from that, I've been athletic since I was a little girl. I was always a tomboy. I was always running around with the guys, playing handball. I was a cheerleader. I played softball. So being active is something that's always been a part of my life. It's always been a part of my parents' lives. My parents are in their 70s and they still bowl in a league because they're crazy. So being active is something that I enjoy. So yeah, that's about it.
I'm Nicole, AKA Mike's wife. Most people call me. No, but I'm the administrative cheerleader of the group. I am not an athlete like Mike and Drea. I am a nerd. I like to read and mind my business. But like Michael said, back in, maybe 2011, 2012, I was also on a health journey. And of course, living with him, how could you not, kind of get involved with everything that was going on? So, we started going out to Van Cortlandt, going to the park, walking, doing as much exercise and just being as active as we can. Both of our families have a history of heart disease and diabetes and things like that. Unfortunately, back in 2015, I had an injury where I shattered my ankle. So I wasn't able to kind of continue the fitness journey or do the races and things like that. But I make sure that everyone is okay, on the team, kind of just push and motivate everyone. I still go out to the workouts and stuff when I can. And, as far as the races are concerned, I've just always been amazed with the mental and physical journey that people have gone through. So I think you guys mentioned about building community and stuff like that. The first race that we went to was Michael, myself, my daughter, I think his brother and dad maybe went to support. But just seeing how the team has grown and developed with just a passion and desire to be better people, overall, it's been really impactful on everyone's lives that, have come into our lives and into our little family. So I've really been encouraged and inspired. And everyone that does the race, I always tell them it's a mental challenge. My daughter has even done 2 adult races and she's 20 years old now. She's not super athletic either, but even just the mental and physical aptitude that you gain, from just being a part of the Spartan community and a part of Team Spartan Spades, overall, I think is really what pushes most people and definitely what pushes me to be, involved overall. And I think just that having the people around you that are always going to push you, motivate you, help you to kind of reach your goals. And no matter what physical level you're at, there's always someone there to kind of hold your hand and say all right, you can do it. No matter what you're trying to do. I could say I'm walking around a block and Dre's yes, you can walk around the block.
Yes, you can.
but also it's just by default, we become better people. And I think that's I think that's so important, especially in today's environment, with everything that's been going on with the pandemic, with COVID, with, all the racism, everything that's been happening is us to be healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I think that, with team is really solid.
I'll always tell Mike, I'm you always see more strength in me than I see in myself. So
that's what we're here for.
Right.
Yeah. So overall, from what I hear from you all is that it first starts off with just experiencing where you are at in your life at the moment, and that's what shaped you to make a decision to become healthy and fit. And then just knowing that you're starting little by little, going for a walk, and training that way, and then going into doing the color runs. I know that's a little bit less, from what I know, I think it's a little bit less strenuous than the Team Spartan race, but it's you build over time how you build over time how to strengthen not only your mentality, but also your physical health. And that all aligns with balancing out your mind, your body, and your soul. And so I welcome Chemo. I hope you can you hear us?
I think he's muted, it looks like.
Yeah.
So he might be trying to set up his station.
He's doing burpees and push-ups. That's why he can't.
Yeah. So with that said,
Hey, what's
There
up,
he is.
You
everybody?
gotta put yourself
All right.
there we go. So you came right on time. We were just introducing ourselves. So we asked everyone to introduce themselves and share what made you join Team Spartan Spades. You can go right ahead, Chemo, and introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Chemo. My real name is Joaquin. Everybody call me Chemo. I got introduced to Team Spartan Spades around April, May 2017. One of the people that I'm cool with, one of the maintenance guys, Brian, he put me on to Mike, which is, and told me how they were doing the Spartan races, and he wanted me to do it with them and all that. So, I did my first race with Team Spartan Spades on June, and from there, just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I just learned his real name today too.
Wow, really?
Will come from. Exactly.
It's literally the Key from Joaquin and the Mo from his last name.
I love that.
Exactly. I have no idea.
A whole different.
I think you might need to do like a whole thing in the expanded group chat, because people really don't. They're like, who's that? They see the name and they're like, who's Joaquin?
Exactly. I'm like, Joaquin. I'm like, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. And exactly. And thank you for sharing that. And I think I kind of I got pulled into the team too, because for me, I just moved to New York and pandemic happened and I wanted to explore New York. And so I was like, oh, let me just go to Grand Central Park. And I was just going for a run. I just went to work out and I saw Chemo and I saw a group of people running and I'm just like, who are these? What's going on here? I'm like,
always curious. Always the curious.
I am. And so I'm like, I want to run too. I want to do what they're doing. And so that's how I kind of like met Chemo and then ended up meeting you guys. But it was more like, I thought it was just going to be a run. And the next thing I know, I'm doing the city challenge. And then now I'm doing this
run.
Where curiosity got you.
I was like, to run.
It was perfect timing too. She was like, yo, but you got to group that runs. I'm like, you ran into the right person. So that's when I put Fadi onto Team Spartan Spades on to follow the page, and from there, it was game.
Exactly, and so
all over now.
And so for all of you guys, I know, and thank you for sharing, Mike, especially what made you create Team Spartan Spade and the journey and why it's important. So for each one of you, what does Team Spartan Spade mean for you individually in terms of joining? Because I know for me, coming from, I used to, just like you, Drea, I used to be a tomboy. So I used to do a lot of sports when I was younger and then I kind of fell off. And then so wanting to come back to it, right? It means something different for everyone in each stage of their life. So for you, in being part of the team, what does that mean for you?
So yeah, I was definitely a tomboy growing up. My dad, I think, prayed that I would put a dress on from the time I was like 7 until I was about 15. Because I wasn't into girly stuff. Like I played with dolls, but I'm like, I'd rather be outside running around with the guys. Like I don't really want to sit inside and chat on the phone until I was about 16, and then it changed. But being a part of Team Spartan Spades is it's therapeutic. One of my purposes in life is to help others, and so being a part of the team, I'm able to inspire other people and motivate other people with just the little bit that I do and the little bit that I know. And it's therapeutic for me to be able to, get out, get exercise, work out the frustrations of the day, and also to know that we're doing a good thing for the community. Mike will tell you till you're blue in the face that, one of the reasons that he started the group is because the Bronx has some of the highest rates of obesity and high blood pressure. And those are things that actually run in my family. I thankfully am not one of the people in my family who suffer from either of those things, but both of my parents are on high blood pressure medication, and all of my grandparents before they passed had high blood pressure. They suffered from the gout and all kinds of other diseases and things that can be prevented if you adopt a healthier lifestyle. So it's important for me, especially since I have a son, to show him and to show the community at large, like, yes, you can do this. Especially being a petite girl. I know you understand, Fadia, you know, we're small. And so people are sometimes, especially, right, like I'm 5'2", and I count my hair, so I'm 5'3".
I should do the same thing. I should count my hair too.
I'm a hair girl, okay? But a lot of times women feel like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not strong. And, you know, and I'm definitely one of those. Mike will tell you, I was like, I'll pull up. I'll pull up where? Pull up to the club? I can't pull up. But now I can pull up, you know, and, you know, it's just getting past our own fears and the things that are in our minds about what we can and can't do. So it's important work that we do.
Exactly. I definitely can relate to that too, because I know for me, my family also, you know, we the diabetic, the high cholesterol, especially coming from the Haitian background. And for me, like fitness started for me because I was also like not healthy and going to the doctor's office. And when your doctor's telling you like, you need to lose weight, if you don't change your lifestyle, this is what's going to happen. So it forces you to kind of like start looking at yourself and your physical health, not just your physical, but your health also, and wanting to do something. So yeah, I can definitely relate to what you're saying, Drea. And yes, we're petite.
Yeah. And that resonates with me also.
Because petite girls work out and petite girls are strong.
Yes, we are. Yes. I'm 5'1", so I know about being petite, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta just try and get the strength and gather it up. But it resonates with me also because I started my fitness journey. I would say I really got into it after I had my daughter. I had postpartum depression. And so for me, I really wanted to learn how can I manage my emotions mentally, but also get myself back healthy physically to my standards. And I would feel more confident after having my daughter. Of course, being moms, your whole body changes and just like, but I want my old body back. So it's a lot of mentality and hormones. And so that's where I began my own physical fitness journey. I used to work out and be on the tennis team and basketball growing up. But, you know, of course, that fell off. So I had to like retrain my body, but also really get to a point where like everything is mentality.
Yeah.
And the way that you talk to yourself, like you just have to continue to push through.
Yeah, that's definitely a big, Nicole can speak to that more than I can. Nicole is definitely the one who is always telling me to retrain my brain and to watch how I'm talking about her friend, being me.
Right. And I think you hit on something there too, because a lot of women in general don't talk about what they go through when they have children. And most of the women on our team are moms, right? And for me, when you first said, like, what does Team Spartan Spades mean to you? I thought family, right? Yeah. Because, you know, Mike and I have a daughter, but she's our only child, mainly because I had so many problems during my pregnancy. When I was pregnant, I was hospitalized for 4 months. Our daughter was still a preemie. Although she was 7 pounds, she was technically a preemie. And I gained 100 pounds when I was pregnant. Now, I subsequently lost that 100 pounds, but fitness and, you know, has become my extended family, right? And it's always like, I want everyone in my family to get 1% better every day. So that's why, you know, we try to push everyone. We try to make sure that everybody is taken care of, you know, not only like out there in the park or on the, you know, the race or whatever, but also that they know that they have someone that they can come to. Because, you know, sometimes people have family, but that's not always their family, right? Yeah. You know, so if you're going through, you know, depression or stress or whatever, like we usually know like what's going on with our people, and we check in on our people when we don't see them or don't hear from them or whatever. So it's just, it's much more than just like being in that Spartan race. It's really just understanding like who our team is, who our community is, and our family. Like, you know, Chemo can tell you, I've pretty much adopted his children as my babies, right? I'm like, oh, my babies are like, they're not babies anymore. They're still my babies, right? So you know, we always kind of look out for each other, and that's really important. And one of the things that Mike always wanted to create with, you know, the community, having that community park, you know, having, the team just there together supporting each other overall. And he's only one person, so growing it has been really great because, like you said, like Chemo brought you in, and like, you know, we always like just each one teach one, you know, kind of like mentality, right? Because everyone's in their own journey, but we're all in it together. So that's a really important thing.
Exactly. What about you, Chemo? What does Team Spartan Spades mean to you?
So yeah, so prior to meeting you know, Mike and you know the rest of the team with team, you know, the rest of Team Spartan Spades, I was always into fitness. You know, I'm 34 right now. I've been working out since the age of 19. So, you know, I was born and raised in Harlem. So I moved out here to the Bronx 2014. In Harlem, you see jungle gyms all over the place. You walk, you cross the street, you go work out, you do your pull-ups, you meet the community of people that do calisthenics, and during times of stress, it gets you through. So when I moved out here in 2014, we didn't have none of that out here. So I was going crazy. So I remember, first meeting Mike, I was telling him about that, like, working out is therapy to me. And it was just killing me that I couldn't find a bar out here to do calisthenics. I don't really do the gym. I don't do the weights, and all that other stuff. So, getting with the team and everything.
You don't weight train. Like, can we just?
Yeah, I don't weight train.
Body weight.
I do all body weight.
Wow. All body weight. You gotta watch it in the park of him just.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's all body. Yeah, that's all body weight. Yeah, So after the first race, I continued coming out with Team Spartan Spades, and we was working out, and it just at first it started off as just a team that we're trained for the next Spartan race or whatever, and over time it did become family. Like we became family, just like Nicole said, and Dre said. It's funny how we all came about because everything that Team Spartan Spades represent, that's me. Like I'm for my people. I'm about health, wealth, and all that. And just sometimes even after a workout, we'll sit there and go and talk about business, wealth and all that, and we're just pitch ideas and I'll get advice from Drea and Mike, as far as like. Business wise, because that's the lane that I'm trying to go, eventually or whatever the case may be. So it's really more than just fitness. It's just, it's family, fitness. And we just did when I got to work out or whatever the case, I could always count on somebody from the team, to come out and just be like, yeah, I'll meet you at the park or I'll go run with you. I got Rob to come run with me, Dre is the ride or die, like, she's always ready for whatever. Tone, what I'm saying, he'll hit the park for me. Mike is always, Mike is always ready to do whatever. So it's just, it's definitely family. Like Team Spartan Spades means so much to me. It's hard to put all in,
all together
in one thing or what. Yeah,
you guys are all in alignment with each other, and the theme is just family. That's very much important for all of you. You all individually have families, but then just grown together and evolved together, just becoming one big family. So it's bigger than just a race that you do every few months.
Exactly.
Yeah. The race is more of the adventure component. I've never really been a thrill seeker. Thrills tend to find me. So, I'm all for it. I've had some life experiences where it's like, why not? Why not try it? Life is short. In terms of the community of Team Spartan Spades, it's one of those things that often in many communities of color, we say that we want certain things, but we don't work together to do it. The main thing that helps with that is doing communal service, like dialogue, and like Chemo said, we'll talk about finances and stuff like that. Certain things that empower the community. One thing that I found, especially living here in the Bronx, they say a lot of crime and stuff happens. Most of that occurs when you make poor decision. Poor decision making can be a result of not eating right, not being healthy. So now you're doing things in survival mode and you're making the wrong judgment. because you're not healthy. One way to do that, to make better decision, is to find out how to get nutrition, how to find that park where you can work out, finding somebody who can help secure you while you work out. You know, we have it to where the women can go out there together and work out and be okay. They know that Mike may come through, Chemo may come through, we all may come through. And that's how you strengthen it based on the community, because these were some of the things that I saw that we needed. But if you want it, you have to cultivate it. And I'm glad that these people came along for the journey. These are some of the craziest people I found in the streets that want to go run through the mud and jump over fire and, you know, curl under barbed wire. And so that's just some of the adventures. These people haven't even been ice fishing with me yet. My wife and my daughter have been ice fishing. I see Bria's eyes.
Like, what's ice fishing?
We've gone ice fishing. That's when you're standing on anywhere from 2 inches to 15 inches of ice in the freezing cold, trying to fish in the middle of a frozen lake.
So, as co-captain of the team, I'm just gonna put my foot down and say, I am never.
You're going. You're gonna go once, and you're gonna enjoy it.
We went to Beacon. It was like 12 degrees, bro.
That was the start.
I didn't go to that one.
And you didn't even realize it.
You know,
yeah.
Don't realize he tricks you into doing stuff, right? So Mike has these ideas and he'll do stuff, and then people like inch by inch by inch, he helps to like strengthen them. I think so mentally, it's like, why not, right? Like at the end of the day, if you can go to Beacon in 12 degrees, then you can stand on 2 inches of ice in 12 degrees. Like, why not?
Yep.
I could, but I mean,
you're almost there.
It's not gonna happen.
And we've also done the Coney Island polar bear plunge. My daughter has done it, my wife, and neither one of them could swim. But they still went in these frigid temperatures. They push themselves, and what it does is it challenges you to an extent of you overcoming a fear. But now, once you've done it, your mind has been stretched for your capability. So if it came to it, you know what you can do. You know the capabilities. If it came to it, what you're capable of. You understand how to pay attention to the weather dynamics. If the air is colder, the water is going to be warmer than the air. So it's better to be in the actual cold water than it is the air temps. How long you're exposed to it. So these are situations where if it came to survival, you know, you've met that threshold of, oh, I definitely don't need to be out there for that. But if it happened, this is how I can combat that. So
yeah, I think even with stuff like that, like Mike did it at first and we're like, he's crazy, no way in the world. But, you know, we still went out there to support him, right? All bundled up and stuff. But then eventually more people and more people and more people did it with him, right? So it's like, okay, I always want to do that. So he's like, so come on, right? So it's, you know, that's what I say about that sense of like family or community. Like when you have someone else to help support your crazy ideas, your good ideas, or, you know, things that are going to help strengthen you mentally, physically, you know, your soul, your spirit, whatever, you know, like, and I always tell people the polar bear plunge to me felt like almost like baptism, right? Like it was like a great way to kind of like start off the new year and be like rejuvenated and like refreshed almost in a sense. Like the first time I did, I nearly passed out because I couldn't even feel my legs. Like I was just like, oh my God. But it was also such a great thing because you can overcome. So I think when I say like that sense of community, that's what I'm talking about, right? Like now people know that they can do something that they never dared to think about doing before because they didn't have a support system to be able to be like, yeah, come on, let's go. You know, so, and I think that that's what's really important about Team Spartan Spades. And you're always going to find somebody in a group that's willing to do something that's going to challenge themselves with you.
And it sounds like also that you start off like being exposed to it. So if you're just standing on the side and the more that you're exposed to it, the more you're like, maybe I should try this. This looks
right. These three captains here, Mike, Dre, and Chemo, there's no way that you like I said, I'm not athletic at all. I did Beacon with them at first, and I'll always joke about it. When I came down the hill, I was the last one, right? But they were there cheering me on.
But you made it down the hill.
That's what's important, yeah.
Friday of the day that Chemo met you, I walked Central Park. I was not jogging. I mean, he could have jogged 10 times around and came through, but I kept saying, like, I don't want to hold you guys up. I was literally crying because my back and my ankle were hurting so bad. Wow. But there was not, like, they were, Kendra and Drea were at the end texting me, like, we're here, like, we're right here waiting for you at the finish line or whatever. And when I got across that finish line, like, Mike walked with me the whole time. And when I got across, there was such a feeling of I accomplished something. Now, if I had to know, I probably would have felt like a failure because, I took so long, or I didn't do it such a great way or whatever. But they always push and encourage and inspire you to be better. Like, and they also look at, like, your accomplishment, whatever your accomplishment is. I can't run like an 8-minute mile like some people on this call, but
yeah,
exactly. 30 minutes. But I'm going to do it. And they're also going to help me feel like I've accomplished something great within myself. So, that's the awesome dynamic about the team overall.
Yeah, because listen, it's not about beating me or Chemo or Mike or Kendra. Right. Or team. It's besting yourself from the day before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yesterday you did a 20-minute mile. Today do a 19-minute mile. Mm-hmm. Or 19 and a half, but just always strive to get better. And even if you don't, you still strive toward the goal, but right. The goal is always to beat yourself, not anybody else.
Exactly. And so each one of you guys brings unique experiences, and I can see that. One thing I like about the team, with me joining the team, is how we push one another, right? It wasn't like, we're gonna compete. I like the fact that we're doing it together. We're learning together. We're coming together, and that's what I enjoy about coming with the team and working out. And it was like, I'm gonna try the Spartan race. When Chemo was like, "You're gonna try it," I was like, I don't know, right? So with working out with you guys and seeing like how encouraging it is, empowering it is, it reminds me of like my family growing up, because I started working out and running with my uncle since I was in like 5, I think, in Haiti. He got me into running. And so with your unique experiences, I love how you guys push each other. I love how you guys motivate one another. And so in fostering and continuing to fostering what you're doing and bringing the community together, which is awesome. And so when it comes to unhealthy distraction, how do you guys stay committed and continue to build your endurance with running or the training? Because there can be so many distractions, right? You guys, like you said, you have kids, and then you have other things that's happening in your life. You have your health. So how do you guys continue to push yourself and staying that, consistent to continue to build those endurance?
Well, one thing that I do to push through the distractions is I look at family medical history. This past December, unfortunately, I lost my mother to diabetes. She succumbed not really to the diabetes, but her small misstep in her discipline and ate the wrong thing. She went to cardiac arrest, some of the effects of diabetes, but when we got the call and we went to, do the assessment, I saw the gun basically on the floor, which was a sweet potato pie, things that she was not supposed to have. But I understood that those certain moments of weakness are where we fail at. And we all have to push through those dynamics, regardless if it's family history or not. So I always take those things into consideration. And, unfortunately, she passed just before her 65th birthday. I just turned 45 this year, and my daughter turned 20, and our birthdays were consecutive. So I always try to instill in my daughter, being that we're the 29th, the 30th, and 31st of January, that this is what's in our family history. So we have to make the conscious effort as individuals of what to avoid as best as we can. Know that even though we're a collective, that individually we have to make sound judgments for our own health, because what I eat may impact you differently. One of the things that I periodically indulge in, and I backpedaled in periodically only because of my frequency of going somewhere, is donuts. I like jelly donuts. My thing with eating donuts, I would only do it once a year, and that's following the polar bear plunge. Since we're in Brooklyn, I discovered this place or whatever. It's like, old style New York. I could get a donut, get a donut or two. I give myself like 3 days to indulge, and that's it. Come the end of January, it was the consecutive birthdays, so we would have cake for 3 days because it's 3 different birthdays or whatever. I'd eat that stuff and get it out the way, and then I go back to my routine. Another thing is also with Hashimoto's, the battle to keep my cholesterol down leads me to work out. One thing that I do is continuously do my workouts when I have the energy for it. And my team, most of the people, you guys are going to all notice now, but one thing that I do is the fight for survival is that I must work out. So if somebody comes out or not, I know what I have to do for myself and my own health and wellness. Another trick that I also do, I'm letting my bag be exposed for getting new people to do the race, is I don't train as hard as when I was doing it by myself. The reason for that is I want to show people that we can start at whatever level that you're at, and then you'll see my transformation while you're transforming yourself. So Fadia, like you seen the other day, I'll always ask how you feel, what's going on. Do you feel stronger? Do you feel a difference? This way you'll also see my transformation. Because if you show up for the workout and, I'm just totally shredded and I'm doing 1,000,000 miles, you won't be as reluctant to want to work out with me per se. So we have the tiered group. So you have people like Chemo, who's young. He takes all the people who are, within his range of fitness or trying to be, and he pushes them like, look, this is what I'm doing. But regardless or not, you'll see him still working out by himself because he knows what the fitness means for him. But he brings his people along at that tier. Like, no, look, if I'm running 7 miles, you're going to run 7 miles. So we have different approaches. You'll see Drea, who works to get people, with certain aesthetics, fitness aesthetics that people look for, and use that as a determining factor that you're fit. So a little ladies see the videos and they want to come work on their core, not knowing the workouts that she's been doing for a while, but she does it. And, we have just a great dynamic. So those are just some of the things that I do to, make sure that I'm doing what I need to for me, the pitfalls that I avoid, and just making a conscious decision.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys, because I know Drea sent us the videos and sometimes I'm just like, Drea, I'm like, you want me to do what now?
You ask for motivation, so I will send
it.
Exactly.
Yep.
But what's so crazy about that? Even though some days she'll send me the video and I'm just like, but then I'm also sending videos too. I'm like, oh, we should try this. We should try that.
Right. I was gonna say, don't act like you don't send videos to the girls too, because you do. And truth be told, there are days where I don't feel it. I'm sitting here and I'm just like,
no, that's true.
But I'm gonna still send y'all the motivation, because just because I'm not motivated that day doesn't mean you can't be motivated. You know what I mean? So like one of the other things, like Mike was saying about just being disciplined, is the best workouts are when you really don't feel like doing it. Like when you really just like, I don't feel like going, it's cold outside, I don't want to go to the gym, or it's a little rainy, or I'm tired. Go. That's the best time to go and put your work in. Whether, and like Mike said, whether anybody else is there or not. Mike, you see videos that Mike has posted. He is the only one in the park by himself with the resistance bands, or doing push-ups or doing pull-ups. Chemo posts videos all the time. He's the only one in the park, and he's doing push-ups and he's doing pull-ups and he's with the log or whatever it is.
Right after work.
Straight from work. No sleep.
Straight from work.
Discipline is what takes you from the drive to do it, but some days you're just not gonna feel it, and the discipline is what's gonna get you to the next level, because the discipline will say, okay, even though I don't feel like doing it, I'm gonna do it anyway, because I know that the result is gonna be worth it.
You know what I think one thing is too, as far as like discipline and things like that, is your relationship with food as well, right? So Mike talks about the Hashimoto's, the cholesterol. Everyone knows Drea is the Uptown Vegan, shameless plug, and stuff. But I learned like later on in life that, you can still enjoy foods that you eat and not like be so indulgent, right? Everyone thinks that if you have to be on a diet or you need to lose weight, that you have to eat these foods that you hate, right? Like food can still taste good, and still be healthy for you. Right. And I think that
season your food. Don't eat bland food just because you want to. Don't do that.
Right. Don't. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people feel like they have to be miserable and not enjoy, life or things or events or like whatever. Right. Because they can't eat certain things or they can't do certain things. But I really do feel like you can eat certain, you can portion control. You can say, okay, I'm going to cut the carbs, or I'm going to cut my meats, or I'm going to, do whatever, but also find what works for you. Different bodies work different ways. And it's really with finding that, and also finding how you respond to certain things emotionally with food. Cause like, I know for me, like I'm an emotional eater. Like, if I'm going to eat some crap, if I'm feeling bad, it's like knowing how to check yourself with that, right? But but also making sure you understand that, right? Because then you can make a conscious effort. If you decide to eat that donut or that ice, whatever it is, that's your thing. Like, you're making a conscious effort, or find something else that you like that, and don't think about the food. Some people think about the food and don't work out. It's really having like a good balance is important.
Yeah,
it has to be both. It has to be both.
I love that you said that, Nicole, because I didn't learn that until I started my own journey with becoming healthier and making right decisions and with fitness. I can tell you, I'm an emotional eater. When I stress, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. Like, it was just the relationship with food is my comfort. But I also had to realize, okay, like I have to like sit and become more intuitive with my emotions. And okay, if I eat a certain thing, how does it make me feel? So I know if I have a carb loaded meal, I'm exhausted right after, like instantly, and I don't have any energy. And so I had to change my relationship with food intuitively, but also find what works for me. I've tried everything under the sun as far as diets, and I found what works for me, which is keto. And keto helped me because it carbs my craving. And so I know that I don't have to crave certain things. I can sit amongst people and not want to have some rice or some bread or some sweets. But if I want to indulge in it here and there, I know that I can have it, but I'm going to go work out to balance everything out. But working out also not helps me stay disciplined, not only with my eating, but also physically, so that I'm able to have the stamina. And I think it's really important to have people understand that it does go hand in hand, your relationship with food, but also balancing the fitness so that you're balancing everything out with your body and your mind.
And for some people too, it's challenging for them to switch to fitness because they're thinking like, wait, this healthy lifestyle will mean that I need to like give up what I enjoy to eat. And like you said earlier, you don't have to. Mm-hmm. It's all about portion control. I know for me, what I've been experimenting with is like, how can I maintain, like, I'm Haitian. I love my Haitian food. And it's looking at how can I incorporate certain things, like the spices, right? So I learned how to make the spices where it fits for me. So I'm not, eating it the way they used to make it. So my families, when I go to my family events, they're like, so what are you going to eat? I said, don't worry about me. I got this. So now with my aunt now, she incorporates, she's like, okay, I know you're coming over. I know you don't eat this. I know you can still eat what I eat. So how do you want me to cook it? So it's making two different things. So the rice, we're cooking the rice, but we're not using the same oil. I have to use a different oil. Mm-hmm. So, I can't eat meat, but I have my tofu ready. Like, so she's starting to like saying like, okay, she's eating healthy is what she's doing. But what you're doing also for yourself is also modeling for other people that are watching us, because there are people that's watching us. And so when you're doing it consistently, you have the discipline, it encourages them and empowers them. It's like with you, Joya, you're a baker. And, for me, I love chocolate. I love sweets. So to be able to still enjoy what I enjoy, but it's just more of a healthier options that works for me. And so I can like order some cookies from Joya and know that like it's healthy. I'm still getting the fix. I'm still getting healthier. My sweet fix.
I'll get some cookies.
Exactly. So
listen, it's portion control, like Nicole was saying, and like you were saying, it's portion control. Like there are no healthy sweets.
Yeah.
Okay. And people always go to get into this, you know, sugar versus honey versus agave versus whatever. And I'm like, if you pass physics science, then you understand that your body breaks down carbohydrates into simple sugar, just plain old glucose, which is then turned into glycogen, and your body uses that for energy. Now, if you have too much of it,
yes,
a problem. But it's anything, too much of anything is a problem.
Exactly. And it all ties in with everything that you guys talked about earlier. It's your mental state. And when we first started, it's like, it's about your mental state. The Spartan race is not just like, oh, let me come and do it. It's all start with like how you think and how your relationship with the food and yourself. Yeah, Kima, you were going to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, every time, you know, somebody asks me about my diet, you know, I don't give them a diet. I tell them, you know, the advice I give them is stay committed to working out. So, cause, you know, if you stay committed to working out over time, you know, your brain, you know, your brain is gonna develop a diet. So like, for instance, if I eat like 3 burgers today, right, and I go work out tomorrow, I'm gonna feel it, and my mental's gonna remember that. So you know, so over time, your mind starts to develop its own diet. But if I eat 3 burgers today or whatever the case may be, and then I don't work out tomorrow or the next day or whatever, you know, my brain won't grasp the effect that it had on my body. You know what I mean? So, you know, exactly. A lot of times, even Mike, like there's times like I'll drink on a Saturday night, knowing that we got to work out on Sunday, and I'll still go to work out on Sunday, and because I want to feel that pain, I want to feel that regret. So I know not to drink, you know what I'm saying, before I'm about to go out, you know, and I know not to drink the night before I'm about to go out and do a crazy workout or something like that.
Don't drink tonight.
Yes, don't drink tonight.
Oh no.
We have a race.
That's after the Spartan race.
Get some water.
So you know, also what keeps me focused is just like I said earlier, like, this workout, you know, does a lot for me, you know, therapy wise. Like, you know, I still have you know, a lot of times, you know, you see me smiling or whatever, I'm working out, but you know, that's what the workout is doing for me. You know, my fit family, that's what they're doing for me. Meanwhile, you know, there could be, you know, a million things going through my head. Like, you know, a lot of my people, you know, they still in the streets or whatever the case may be, and this working out thing, so it keeps me out of, you know, it keeps me away from this. So even when I'm, you know, on the weekends, I'll go to Mount Beacon and hike with some of my people, and you know, like it'll light my heart up because I know I'm keeping all of us away from. You know, them 8 hours that we out there hiking, craziness going out there. I know that, you know, this is what I'm doing for, you know, I know why I'm keeping, you know, all of us away from out there. You know, exactly. So it's just, you know, like this workout thing is more therapeutic. The body came after it, just comes with it. It just comes with the workout. But you know, it does a lot for me mentally. Even with this Spartan race, you know, few of my peoples, you know, I finally got them come out and do it or whatever. And I'm more excited for them because I know that that's the way it changed mine. You know.
Yeah. And what I love.
So I'm just really more excited, like, you know, for them.
Exactly. And what I think with the team itself, not only that we're working on our body and our mental state, like you say, it's therapeutic for me too. What we're doing and what you're doing for the community is for your children also, because Chemo, I also see like with the things that you're posting, you're also, your children are also doing the Spartan, they do Spartan, the Spartan minis, right? The Spartan race minis. And so like, they're also watching you guys. So the kids come into the park, you guys showing them exercise. It's also for their health. It's showing them like, you can still have fun. You can still do you can still eat the same food that you need to eat, but this is what it looks like. And as adults, a lot of us have to model for the generation that's looking at us, for the younger ones, for other people, because when they, like you said, when they're like, wow, when I see you, Chemo, doing stuff, I'm like, how is he doing this? I know I've been working out for years. I can't do half of the stuff that you're doing. It motivates me, right? And then you have Jared that's getting on the pull-up bar, and I'm like, Fadia, you have one in your room, get up, go do it, right? So like when I see those posts, it's just like, what's your excuse, right? Mike will be posting these videos in the chat, and I'm just like, Yeah, all right, let's get up, let's do it. But I think everything about Team Spartan Spade is about coming together. It's about evolving. It's about fostering something that everyone can take something from each one of us, and for us to continue to push. And so in taking a shot at yourself, it all can be challenging, because I know we all started somewhere and something had to happen for some of us to say, okay, I need to change my physical health. I need to change my lifestyle. I need to change the way I eat. I need to change the way I think about myself, because sometimes some people, they just do it because they want to. So what are some tips can you share with anyone who is looking to start or to maintain their physical health to compete in one of the Spartan race or DECA fit? So like, what is something like, would you say for them?
Sorry, I know there's a lot of noise in my background. I live in the Bronx and I'm on the first floor. So I'll go first so that I can mute mine. I would say just start. Yep. Literally start.
That's it.
You have to just commit to saying, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it no matter what. So if that means I have to get up a little earlier to go to the gym or work out, then I'm going to get up a little earlier to work out. Or if I have to stay up a little later, I'm going to stay up a little later. You know, it's the same thing when you're starting a business. And actually Mike is one of the people who inspired me to get my business together. He's actually the reason I have my LLC now. So
how do people, leverage this thoughts?
Yeah, no, Mike is definitely, he was like, no, you got to be legit. I was like, heard you, got it. And I didn't have, and that's another thing, like you were saying, you know, about Chemo modeling for his kids and us modeling for our children. Like, there's no entrepreneurs in my family that I know of. So I didn't have anybody to call and be like, hey, so when you started your business, what did you do? It was like, nah, you got to get on this website and figure it out yourself. But it's the same thing with your fitness journey. Even if you don't have somebody in your family who is into fitness and who eats healthily and, you know, works out, you got to just do the homework yourself. Go on Google and go outside, meet people. We've got members of the team now who have met us, just including you, from just being outside.
Exactly.
And asking a question. So get out of your own way, get out of your head and just say, okay, I'm going to go. And if that means that I have to start walking, then I start walking. Like, people see me now and they're like, oh, you're strong, you can do pull-ups. I'm like, yeah, today. But they didn't see me when I couldn't even do one push-up, when I couldn't even do a pull-up. They didn't see those things. I remember those things. Mike remembers those things. Nicole remembers those things. I don't know if Minnie does, but they were around in those days. So you have to remember, you have to start somewhere. So just literally just start. And again, don't worry about comparing yourself to anybody else, because somebody else's journey is somebody else's journey. If you're just starting today, you're not going to look that way. And that's okay. Be okay with where you are and just start. And dance, because apparently there's music.
Yeah, I agree with Ray. You know,
oh no, go ahead, Chemo.
Yeah, just to start, you know, people when they ask me is, you know, just, you know, start with a mile. You know, just like if you go running, just start with a mile. Once you start to get, you know, the group of, you know, running a mile, you know, just then put time into it. You know, let me run this mile within 10 minutes. You just create milestones, and now you know you go to 2 miles or whatever the case may be. Even you know just start running 5 minutes, because that 5 minutes of running, you know, once you reach that 5 minutes, you're gonna be like, oh, now I got a lot more in me. So it's just starting. You know, starting is the hardest part. Usually, what I do is, like, I get myself like, I'm gonna go out there and work out. I can't do no less than 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups. That, you know, now if I go, but I know by the time I get to that 100. I'm gonna say I have more in me. You know, I'm gonna feel it. You know, my heart's pumping. You know, and everything. So, you know, starting is always the hardest part. You know, and always try to and try to find and try to look for accountability partner. You know, somebody that when you're feeling lazy, you know, it's just, you know, like Tone, like, you know what I'm saying, like there's days I just come from work and I just want, yo, you going out? It's like, you know what, I'll meet you out there. You know, it helps a whole lot, and you'll feel good. You know, you'll feel good. You'll be amazed at that. You know, the energy that you did have. You know, to go out there and work on, and you'll feel good. You'll be amazed at how much you get done that day that you wasn't gonna do when you had just still home and just, you know, laid in bed all day. But like Dre said, to just start, and that's the best advice I can give anybody.
I would say one thing for me, although I've never done a race, but I've been around it for the past 10 years, is like know your why, right? Like a lot of people, you got to have a reason you want to do stuff. And I think, Fada, you had mentioned like about the kids, like the Team Spartan Spades minis, right? My daughter was doing this kids races and doing the adult races and stuff like that. And, she was my why. When I first started even thinking about fitness or thinking about whatever, I'm like, I can't be that mom that like can't keep up with their kid, can't play with their kid, run around at the park without being all winded like crazy. And like, Minnie, whose Team Spartan Spades minis were named after, and CJ, Drea's son used to be out there with us. And now Jen and Jerry, who are Captain Kendra's babies, right? Like they're out there with us. Like the adults were in the trailer in Cortland. I was like, sure, I'll stay back and watch the stuff because like I told you, I'm not athletic. And Jen stayed there with me, and she was actually able to put me through a full damn near DecaFit Spartan workout, right? Like she was like, okay, Nicole, come on, let's work out. I'm like, what is she, 6 chemo, right? Like
yeah, she's 6.
And Jen put me through a whole workout. But guess what? That's ingrained in them now. That's instilled in them, right? They see the adults doing the right thing, and they're going to continue that legacy and that journey, whatever. So if anything, that I do, like one of my wives is doing it for them, right? Because I didn't have anyone to, show me like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, or this is how you're able to keep yourself healthy, keep yourself mentally sane, like do whatever. So they're constantly seeing all these kids that have, been out there, whatever. They're constantly seeing adults that are doing positive things with their lives. And they're going to continue that journey, as well. Even if they just know like, oh, the race. I remember my daughter one time was taking an algebra test or something in school. It was like, I was sitting there and I was struggling with that test. And I was like, if I can do a Spartan race, I can do this, and I always think about that because I'm like, wow, was that like mental push that she gets from all of us and that all the kids get from all of us, just being around it and watching us is so important. So finding a why, it's really like the thing to start as well. Start, but know like what you want to gain out of it, and I think, and who you're inspiring and who's watching you, I think is really important too. What's your tips for the race?
They already said everything that needs to be said. I mean,
hydrate.
My thing is, no, it's not for the race. It's just overall. No, just start, right. Just start. It all comes down to start, just start. That's all it comes down to, start. If you don't start, you'll never get anywhere. You'll be exactly where you were at. You got to start, no matter what it is. I tell people, you show up, do a push-up, do 1. You can't do 2, do 1. Tomorrow, come out here and do 2, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Just starting and knowing your why. And as we talk about this, it just reminds me of just my journey, and my why was I want to live for my daughter because I had a high risk pregnancy and almost lost her. And so like, I want to live for her. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to run around with her. So I started working out in the house. And even when she was like a year old, she was doing little workouts. Okay, I see you. And now she does the workouts with me. She like, mommy working out. I'm going to put my workout clothes on, or she'll do it by herself. Like I'll just be sitting on the couch and she's on the side, doing some push-ups in her own version or some squats. And I think that's so important to be able to know your why, start, but it also gives you purpose. And that purpose is to keep pushing and keep motivating and inspiring others, which is what all of you are doing, which is amazing. I think as a team, you guys are flourishing, evolving, and inspiring others. A part of me is just like, maybe I need to try one of these races. I'm a little scared.
You're going to.
You do.
Don't worry. I got her. She's going.
So I look forward to what your team is going to continue to do, and all of your endeavors as well.
So what should we expect with Spartan?
Yeah.
The Team Spartan, what's next? Because I know we have the Spartan coming up. So for you guys, what should we look forward to?
We should look forward we should look forward to Bria coming to join us.
Right.
That's the start.
But you
That's
guys
what
are
we're looking
also,
forward to.
yes, exactly. But you guys are also going to Hawaii. We're taking Spartan, well, you guys are taking Spartan Spades in Hawaii. I'm not sure yet if I'm
No, you're going.
You're going.
Beast. The beast is a whole nother mission now. There's
Yeah.
levels to dealing with obstacle course racing. It's certain levels of endurance which requires you to be on your feet longer, to do more, to carry more things. And it's a psychological thing that breaks many people. But next time you go out, you can go a little further. So with the Spartan Beast, it's 13 miles and I think like 40 obstacles.
35.
So 35.
Wow.
So,
But
and then the terrain. Yeah, the terrain also
I
makes
think-
a difference.
I think I'm gonna come and just be like the cheerleader and then just I'll work my way up there.
Okay, because you know what? You're in luck because we're doing the Super in October, and the Super is only 7 miles.
And then
You see how they just recruit me? That's how they get me. That's how they get me.
So many of the people that I met through the fitness world have been reaching out to collaborate or to get us to certain events. So our calendar will be opening back up, being that the world is opening back up. So we will definitely keep you ladies in the loop for different events to try out.
I got a question.
Yes,
how you felt when you went to Mount Beacon and you hiked, to the casino?
Oh, that's right. You went to
Yeah, it felt really good. It just, for me, when I was living in Haiti, I was already doing track. I was already running. So the terrain that we're running to, I'm used to that. So for me, being part of the team, it's just taking me back home because I used to work out with my uncle. My uncle used to take me out. I used to do races. A couple of years ago, 17 or 18, I went back to Haiti. And so my family, we have like children in our community that we do races with them every year. And I ran with them. So I'm used to that. So for me, climbing, the hike, it's like I'm back home again. It just brought me back. So that's why I love working out with you guys, because it's not just like, oh, I'm coming for fitness. I'm coming home because this is what I used to do. And I just fell off during college year. And after my mom passed away, I lost sight of things that were important to me. I like the fact that I'm back and I'm back out there. I'm back in nature and I'm just, I'm doing it. And I can't wait to take on the Spartan and just see and challenge that mental capacity.
Yeah, I remember the first time running with Fire. She really kept up. we hit the Van Cortlandt trails, and it was hot that day, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It was hot. She really kept up. I was like, yeah, she got it.
Yeah.
I was like, she definitely got it.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much for just joining us on our platform. I truly enjoyed our conversation. Again, I wish you luck on your race tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And so tell our audience where they can find you and if they want to sign up for a race with you in the future and how they can join your team.
They can follow us on social media at Team Spartan Spades. On Instagram and Facebook. We also have a private group on Facebook for Team Spartan Spade members. This way people can be more engaging. Once you're in and you've done a few workouts with us, we can add you to the private chat because we dialogue a lot relative to fitness and the day antics relative to fitness. So our website is launching tonight, so they can go to our website, which is teamspartanspades.org. It's a charity thing that we do, but we are accepting donations because people like Drea, Kendra, these ladies, they get out here and help make a difference with what it is that I do. But just follow us on those platforms. And you could also reach me, Mike, 914-266-0976. Anytime, leave a text, call, voicemail, and I'll follow up, see what we can do. All right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Andreas, and I know you're a bakery, so you do vegan cupcakes. So where can our audience find you? Because your cookies are good. Delicious.
Thank you. I'm glad that you like them. Yes. So my business is not a storefront. I am a made-to-order catering, 100% vegan goods, cakes, cookies, cupcakes. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. and I believe Twitter and Pinterest as The Uptown Vegan. So you can find me there. I have a website, theuptownvegan.com, where you can go see the entire menu of things that I offer, place an order. I also accept orders via email, orders@theuptownvegan.com.
Captain Chemo, where you at?
You can catch me on social media, Chemo Lou, 114 KEEMOLOUH, 114 on Instagram and on Facebook. Chemo Moreira. Last name Moreira. I'm the person that's gonna push you.
Only if they want to smoke.
Oh yeah.
Only
Yeah,
if they
listen,
smoke.
listen. You're not ready? Don't hit up Kima because he's going to work you.
Oh, I'm gonna have to connect you, Chemo, to our celebrity trainer Jerry. I'm gonna have to do it because
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing some of, your unique experiences and what Team Spartan Spade is about. And I'm happy to be part of the team. And I hope that everyone, can resonate with some of the things that you're saying, and it pushes them and motivate them, and seeing like how this is what community looks like. If you are looking to get fit, if you're looking for a healthier lifestyle, it's about community. You don't have to do it alone. There's teams out there, no matter where you are. You don't have to be in the Bronx. It's just about finding one person that's running just like I did, and then just connect. And here you are. The next thing you know, you have your sneakers, you're running races, you're doing obstacle courses, or even you're hiking, up a mountain. So thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. Also, if anything resonated with you guys today during our episode, leave us a comment. And if you'd like to be a guest or want us to suggest us a topic to talk about, please leave us send us an email at millennialbabespodcast@gmail.com. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys. Thank you.